George Morgan here and Jack Gannett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact through the Mercedes teammate!
Denoso with a crafty maneuver up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Beresne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Borman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening and welcome back to PSGL, and it's time for round 7 as we get ourselves over to almost closing up this shortened season. We get ourselves over to the one and only Marina Bay Street Circuit over in Singapore with 19 turns, 5.065 kilometers in distance, and with 3 DRS zones, which could open the door for some overtaking, but one of those DRS zones may be a little bit small and may not potentially open that door. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me once again, it's Omi. How are we doing?
Hello, Corey. Hello, everyone. Doing very, very well indeed. And yes, as you mentioned, overtaking will be tricky today. But I think that can be also a positive. That means the moves that we're going to see are going to be even more extraordinary. They're going to be even more brilliant when they do get pulled off. And we're going to get a different style of race. Rather than your usual pass whenever you like, drivers are going to have to be a bit more tactical. They are going to have to be a bit more rough with each other. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to be a little bit more rough with each other, let's say, in the early stages as well, to try and get themselves into position, get themselves into order, because the opportunity to pass easily will not be there.
Absolutely. It's a street circuit, so the grip is a little bit questionable as well, with it being that different tarmac surface you need to drive over. But the apexes come fast, and especially in Sector 1, may be the best place to do it if you can get a dive. You get that run out of the final turn, get right up close behind your rival, you could get just ahead. You can use the track limits to your advantage, and that's where the speed is, especially coming through those first 3 turns. And then, of course, you DRS aided once again out of turn 4. So it's all up in the air for anybody's race to win, but Presican taking it away with the championship so far. Can anybody chase him down? That's what I want to know.
That is exactly our question coming into this round here at Singapore. We're in the 7th round. We have Mexico, of course, and our title final is at Abu Dhabi. That will be a brilliant way to end of the season, and also the game cycle, and also our partnership with GT Omega after a great couple of years together. So we would like to thank them, but we'd like, though, once again, to enjoy our final races together, and hopefully we are going to see a title battle go all the way to the end. But it's now or never if your name is Alexander Dimas and those drivers who are closely behind.
Absolutely. Now, qualifying is just about to get underway, so we won't keep you waiting for too much longer. But you can expect to see a bit of elbows out as people try and chase down Tudor Presican, who sort of ran away with it a little bit into the season, has got a comfortable lead. He can finish outside of the points and still be in the lead, regardless of drivers getting a victory. So he is feeling a little bit comfortable and relaxed coming into Singapore. Can afford to drop a couple of points, and the final 2 rounds are his for the taking. But nevertheless, don't let me keep you waiting any longer. Qualifying is about to begin, so we shall find ourselves trackside.
PSGL under the lights. It cannot get better than that, as we see these cars exit the pit lane, out of the fast lane onto this circuit. And you can see we've got 18 in the field. Jerry Van Russell will not take part in the qualifying. He'll go from the back as well, we're taking a look at Wojtek Steg in the Kick Sauber. He's the driver who will lead the field away for what is an important qualifying. As you mentioned, Corey, with it being so difficult to overtake, you don't want to get yourself in a position where you're having to dive bomb, risk your front wing at every corner. You want to find yourself higher up the order, so the cars that you need to pass are as minimum as possible.
Absolutely, it's all about qualifying position now. You need to secure the highest spot possible. Like you say, no late moves or dive bombs. Try and keep yourself out of unnecessary contact. You're going to need that downforce, especially coming around the turns here in Singapore. You've got the bridge section, as you can see, Wojtek Steg coming towards now. Those walls are very close, very tight. Then you need to jam on the anchors for this hairpin here. And if you've got that damage, you're lacking that downforce, you're going to lose dramatic time, especially in Sector 2.
Yep, the time lost will be massive around this circuit, considering how much downforce you need for a venue like this. And we're about to see Wojtek Steg attack said venue in a couple of moments' time as he navigates his way through. It's a lap which you're close to the walls, and these are the final few corners till he can get his foot down and take us down to turn 1.
He is absolutely flat to the floor. DRS 80 before he taps on those brakes and fires it round to the left. Trying to minimise the rotation round to the right. You want to keep that straight line speed. You don't want to lose too much momentum putting drag on it. And then back around turn 3 before now we hit turn 5. You see using the apex there, trying to keep it tidy and use the track limits very, very well. Will now be DRS aided to finish sector 1 before he needs to jam the anchors on for that 90-degree left turn. Just doing it about 75 metres, 80 metres from the turn. And now fires back around in sector 2, round to the right. You need to be cautious here. This is where we're saying the lack of downforce will cost you dramatically. You could clip the walls with how close they are to you, and he's back again flat to the floor before he needs to be very cautious coming round to the left now as he does invalidate. It's unfortunate there for Wojtek Steg, just took a little bit too much curb. 3 wheels off the track, I suspect. Both of the rears went off with that left tyre. The front right still looked on the track at the time, but it did cost him that invalidation.
So that will be the exam question getting a little bit more harder. Still plenty of time, but you don't want to find yourself on the back foot. This driver in our picture, Cameron Dowds, has not been on the back foot so far in the 2 rounds that he has been with us. Of course, he found himself with the win in Austria on his return. His first race back on PC found himself with the victory, and he's found himself then after that also securing a podium. So it's been decent so far for him, and he's right now top of the timing board as the rest of the drivers slot in.
Somebody's called Pastor Maldonado. Who is that? Whoever it is, the Williams driver has just gone up into P3. We were just on board with that. As Matteo Longa comes back, new reserve driver. I think this is his first race back to the grid, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe last week. Can't remember off the top of my head, but Matteo goes 7th, and we have a new fastest lap from your current driver's standings. City, your current leader in the standings, Tudor Pressican, 25.1, just over 2 tenths clear, 2.5 tenths on Cameron Dowds. So certainly setting the benchmark to beat out of everybody. Can Cameron Dowds gain those tenths back and close on down? Felipe Sousa has just gone up into 3rd position, dropping Alexander Damas down. Alexander Damas is also in that fight for the championship. Marcel Biega just going up to P5 though. And I think next to the line is nobody. I think that's it. Everybody else is having a cool down. Victor Wildwidler, are you still on a lap, or is that a cool down lap? I think that's a double out lap or some form of cool down lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like everyone's playing games with us. We've got Mavi Raghunathan in this field as well, by the looks of things, in 17th on the order. So loads of drivers wanting to have fun, experimenting with different names. I mean, we saw that earlier on, and I think it was Leonardo Tornolato who just changed it and ended up going rapidly as well in the race that he did so. So it looks like that might be a bit of an experiment that some of the drivers in this field are carrying for this round.
If you want us to call you by that name, then so be it. It's going to be funny shouting out, and here goes Maldonado!
I mean, back to the olden days as well with that. And then for all of the F2 viewers who used to hear Raghunathan as well mentioned, quite a bit in the, well, 2019 as well. And he also got an FP, he also got an F1 outing momentarily in, I think it was the Alfa Romeo, so that's very interesting as well. But back onto PSGL, back onto the action. Paul Adolph's pushing on in a couple of moments. He's currently on his outlap.
He is indeed. I do think that Oleg Napadovsky will beat him to the line, though, and be... Oh, no, it's Wojciech Steg to go again. The man who would have set the first time lap on the table has invalidated the lap and is now back out first again to set the second row of laps to come to your timing screen. Is the improvement going to come? He does not have a time to compare against so far, picking up that unfortunate invalidation, but he is coming out of turn 5 fairly well squared away. Could this be the time to put him higher up and secure that potential top 5, maybe even top spot? Could it be done for Wojciech Steg? I'm not entirely, can't remember his highest qualifying position so far, but if he's looking at that top 5, it'd certainly be a lap to contend with, but there's not many places to overtake, like we said here in Singapore. You've got to sort of run it safe, calm and collected, and wait for those open doors. If any driver ahead will make a mistake, he comes through Sector 2 now. He has got through turn 13 without that invalidation. I think it may have been turn 12 even. He does come out at 13 now, opens that rear wing, will have that short boost of DRS, so this is a place where you may not see many overtakes unless you get a masterclass run out of 13, but he does deal with it well and flat to the floor now, trying to maximise his speed and gain every bit of lap time that he can to finish off what will be his first time lap to go on the table. The final chicane to go as he comes around to that double left-hander, turns 18 and 19, flat to the floor, fire it round. You may have to lift and just for that brief second, but it's only good enough for a 25.7.
9th position for Wojciech Steg at the moment, as you mentioned. He will be looking to try and build and improve on that. The driver's had a best position so far this season of 7th in qualifying, and that was also under the lights at Bahrain International.
Oh, Paul Adolph's just had a pretty good lap there. Jumps up into P2 with a 25.2, so looking to potentially contend for Paul with that lap. Anybody else to maybe challenge that? I think everybody's starting their lap, so I'm just trying to have a little look at who potentially may be the leading runner. Could potentially be... oh, he's not, he's invalidated. Right, yeah. Raghunathan.
Yeah, absolutely. As he'll come into the pit lane then, and he'll get it slowed down and come in, and we'll look to try push on later on. Buba will also be trying to get a lap time on the board. We're taking a look at Ferrari's Leski Carrero, the F5 champion from last season, as he navigates his way through the middle part of the lap, and he will be hoping that he can try a challenge for those top 5 positions. But Corey Tresacan once again looking on the pace, once again looking like the driver to beat so far as it stands, and that's exactly what he needs to just try and extend his championship lead and get it wrapped up as soon as possible.
Absolutely. He's going to need around about 36 points gap to wrap it up here today with the victory, but he needs to make sure that Damas and those behind do not score the highest of points. So we could see an interesting Mexico going into round 8. That's where we could see the championship wrapped up, done and dusted. Alexi Cavero improves by just under a 10th up to P6.
Does indeed, so he's just missed out on the top 5 by a couple of hundredths of a second. 8 minutes to go in the session. Justin Ayert pushing on then, his teammates doing the exact same. That was all over the road, and that will be a trip back to the pit lane for the driver currently in 13th position. Justin Ayert will need a bit of an improvement when he cuts the beam for the second sector, still not finding it down by a 10th of a second, so it'll need to be a very good third and final part of the lap for him. As Victor Vidler comes across the line, he's into P3.
Oh, 100th split from that P2 of Paul Adolph, so getting closer now to beat Tudor Pressican. Pressican is feeling very comfortable. He's sat there in the pits, not coming out to set any more laps as of yet. Does not feel under any sort of threat. Justin Ayerts did find a little bit more lap time, just not too much time to get him that improvement that he wanted. who else could potentially be on a lap? We'll take a look at Marcel Biega, who is just under a tenth up on his delta at the current time, as he does come down towards turn 10, where he just needs to try and make sure he keeps it within those white lines. It gets very, very tight here, especially as you come over the bridge. You do not want to get any contact with that outside wall as you try and get the car going, the suspension leaning left and right, maintaining all your momentum. And now coming down with the DRS towards turn 14, just under a tenth and a half up as he gets through the sector 2 split. And now is there any more time to gain for Marcel Biega? Could be looking at the top 5 if he can pull out just a little bit more lap time in sector 3. He's got the chicane of 16 and 17 to go before he hits that double left-hander. Can he maintain the grip and absolutely send it round? Gain a little bit more time, a couple of hundredths at best will do you wonders. Crosses the line for P3, and it's a 3/10 improvement. Oh, 6 thousandths away from that P2 spot. Could have potentially made it a Mercedes 1-2.
Very nearly did that, Corey. And Biega, driver who has been second on 2 occasions at Spa and also at Silverstone 1 week ago. When it's come to PSGL qualifying this season, you'll want to upgrade that to first, but Presekan's lap is right now out of reach. But if there is a driver who does have the potential of getting close to that, loads would mention the driver's name in our picture, Cameron Dowds. He finds pace, he finds grip out there that no one else is able to at times. It's incredible to watch. It was fantastic to watch, Corey, last time at Silverstone, where he was making those moves at the end of the lap. Before we got onto the Hamilton straight, he was passing lap after lap, same corner, and he made a brilliant move on the last lap to get a podium there.
Absolutely, he did, managing to secure that podium. He's come into the season a little bit late, but he is coming with a bang. 2 podiums so far. Can he secure a 3rd on the bounce as we go into Singapore? He is coming down into Sector 2 now, looking to improve on that time, potentially get into the top 3, and maybe set himself up for the best start of the race. We've seen that he is a front runner. You cannot count him out so far, but as he is about to open the rear wing and finish off his sector 2, we'll get some sort of delta improvement if he is improving on that lap, and he certainly is a tenth, just under a tenth and a half, which will put him well within contention if he can just get a little bit more here in sector 3. We saw Marcel Biega do it. Can Cameron Dowds do the exact same thing? Pull out a tenth, maybe 2. He does come through 16 and 17 now, and now flat to the floor towards 18, round to the left. Keep it rotated, but try and exit very, very nicely. Jumps up into P2 with just under 2/10 improvement, but he's still short of that pole position.
It was a great lap, and he's going even quicker. We cut to the man who is flying around this 19-turn circuit here at Singapore. Presekan is Dimas. Dimas finds a time for the front row, and he is still missed out. He's still missed out, but, well, he's got close. He's the closest we've seen someone get to Presekan, but Presekan wants to take it further away. This is incredible to see. He is really, really pushing on as we ride on board with the Mercedes, throwing it through 16, 17, and then we have the double left-hander coming up, and he's gonna elect not to finish that lap. He'll go round once again, but no one's being able to beat him. They're getting close. No one's being able to beat him as of yet, so he doesn't really need to do anything at this stage. He'll want definitely a bit more of a buffer as the circuit will improve, Corey, near the end. But it's just brilliant that his first run was so good. It's still keeping him ahead, and no one's being able to find the time to beat him.
Absolutely, this is insane pace from Tudor Presekan. He's gone. And when he does eventually set that final run, where he's only done 2 attempts so far, his first attempt, nobody is even able to beat it, even after a couple of runs. But on his second run, chose to go into the pits, not happy with it. He may come out again, or does he feel safe? Will he retire and just be done with it? But he is under threat from Dimas, who is the closest so far, could be a contender in the championship if he can take a victory away from Presekan.
That is going to be exactly the case. You have Dimas, who is the nearest contender that remains in this tier as of yet. And if he wants to spoil Presekan's championship, then he'll need to start doing that now. As we mentioned, including this one, only 3 rounds to go. It's all going to happen very quickly, and grabbing the 1 point that's available for pole can be a great way to kick off these final 3 rounds.
Cavero's about to set a lap, crosses the line, 2/10 up, goes just behind his teammate Victor Wedler. So P7 for Alexi Cavero. And now you see the track and that pit lane start to flood with drivers who are looking to set their final runs. The 2-minute mark is coming and the drivers are getting themselves ready. They need to be vital now on getting the tyres warmed up and into that working window. Keep the revs high, burn off as much fuel as you can without overheating the engine to the point you lose performance. This is where things are going to get interesting. You can see Matteo there, the first driver who will set off the final lap, or the final short of runs here in Singapore. So Matteo warming the tyres up. You see the weaving. Could tyre temperatures be a factor here in this qualifying in the final runs? Are the drivers able to get them into that window quick enough as the timer starts to tick down to 1:30 to the checkered flag?
It's the exciting moments. Well, it's the calm before the storm at this stage, but in a few moments the storm will be taking place and it will be the 17 contenders all fighting to try and take pole position, which belongs to Pressacan in what is a very, very hard race when it comes to overtaking. You do not want to find yourself out of position. You want to be near the front as we take a look at our newest reserve driver in this tier, Matteo Longe, pushing on through the opening few corners of this circuit.
Oh, bit of a slide there coming out of turn 3. It could have cost him some time that is much needed. He's trying to get into the top 10, and as he comes around turn 5, very, very close to the wall, as Cavero retires in the pits as expected. Doesn't have the time to go again. I wonder how much time loss Matteo's actually got from that. He's pushing as hard as he can. Comes out of sector 1. I didn't see the delta change. I was looking at the pit lane there to make sure that there was that retirement in the pits and not distracting any drivers on the track from their qualifying laps. But it is for Matteo to push on in sector 2. Up towards turn 10 now. Fire it round to the left. Try and not invalidate. We've seen it happen to Wojciech Steg early on. Oh, he's clipped the wall there. That just shows you how close they come. This is what we were mentioning. Sector 2 is treacherous and he does just clip the wall. And he may potentially back out of that one. Disaster qualifying for the final run for Matteo.
That's not what he wanted. You could see across the entire lap that he was pushing. He was going beyond the limit, trying to take all the risk to get himself a higher position. And it was worth the risk. It definitely was, as he was trying to find himself higher up the order. We're taking a look at some of the other drivers who still try and push on, who still try and find the improvement. Justin Hertz will really, really want that. He's only up there by 35 thousandths of a second. Very deep in to the corner as he now pushes on towards the end of the lap. The driver that's currently in 15th, Racing Bulls in 15th and 16th, they'll want to get into the top 10, a top 10 that currently is right now led by Pressacan still at the moment. Here's Ayert making his way into the pit lane. He will not be able to push on. Here's our current pole man trying to take it further away. He elected to pit on the last run. On this run, it's a 1:24.8 and he's further taken it away from the field. Ados finds the time for second, but no one has the answer to Pressacan's time in this qualifying session.
Cameron Dowds towards the line and he is still short of it. Dimas is just coming through sector 3 now. Is there any time to come? Whittler crosses the line, no improvement. Biega's in P5. All eyes are on Alexander Dimas. Is there any time improvement to come yet? Yes, there is for P2, but it's not enough for Paul. Tudor Pressacan takes it away by 0.2 of a second with a master pole setting time. A 10.5 from Tudor Pressacan. What a lap time.
That is, by PSGL standards, absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe he's been able to pull that lap time out there. That's unbelievable. And you can see someone's definitely been preparing quite a bit for this. He knows how important qualifying is. And he's really just going to try pull away from the front, get outside the 1 second, and say goodbye for the entire duration of the race. And with the pace that he's displayed, taking pole by over 2/10, it definitely could be a possibility.
Absolutely. Tudor Pressacan almost 2.5 tenths clear of Alexander Dimas and Paul Adolphs. And you've got Cameron Dowds on 4th, Marcel Biega, Victor Widler, Felipe Salza, Oleg Napadowski, Cavero and Paps doing the top 10. Further down the field, Buber, Wojciech Steg, Pastor Maldonado, Matteo Longe. I can't. Oh, I missed it. I missed the final classification, but that gets me that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely catches us out. Of course, we don't know. We have absolutely no clue what the drivers will need. So, I mean, we expect normal names, but when we get onto this broadcast, we only know when we actually see the drivers out there in this qualifying session. So, yes, two names from real life drivers. And, well, they've lined themselves up in this race, and we'll definitely be seeing that across the 31 laps that'll be coming up here at Singapore.
Absolutely. No, we are just getting to our usual lobby restart. You know how things are. So before we go any further, we're just going to have a quick word from our sponsor and our partner who will bid farewell at the end of this season. So once again, thank you to GT Omega, and we'll get it running. And we are back, and we can have a little quick breather for a second while we get ourselves ready for what will be the Grand Prix of Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. I'm excited for it. You know, there's not many places to overtake, so it may just be a little bit slow off the start, or maybe absolutely chaotic off the start. The mid part of the race, you will see it slow down as everybody tries to work. What are they going to do with the strategies? That's what I want to know. Are they going to go maybe longer, or just to work things out? This is where you come into tyre management mode around about halfway point in the Grand Prix to decide whether you're going to box or where you're going to place yourself in terms of the strategy. It's going to be a strategy game in Singapore, to say the least. Like I say, not many places to overtake or miss, so it goes up in the air. Is it undercut or overcut that's going to play the factor here?
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to assess that. They would have done loads of practice runs. I know these drivers are usually in lobbies practicing, and they would have got an idea by now, and they would have done, I'm sure, plenty of races as well around this circuit with 50% duration to understand what works around this circuit, whether it is the undercut or the overcut. And they absolutely need that. You could see someone absolutely bolting a lap earlier, jumping themselves up the field massively, and then they can defend it for the rest of this race. So it's going to be really, really an important strategy phase. So that phase of the race is going to get very, very interesting. I think also the start, when you have drivers, especially near the back. I think drivers near the back will be the ones to watch. They'll be the ones trying to forge their way through. They know that they cannot wait all the way till half race distance. They need to start making moves immediately if they want to be a factor, even if it is just for points.
Absolutely. There will be 31 laps of Singapore to get through. So again, Sector 2, if they pick up any damage in that lap 1, or they're all fighting for the positions, which they will and truly will be, to get themselves settled into some form of race pace. Lap 1, I expect to see them go for some unorthodox moves and dives, while some drivers may potentially be a little bit slower as the tyres start to warm up and come into their working window. Don't forget the difference in tyres that they may start on. Could have the mediums, the hards, or some people even playing brave, going onto the soft compounded tyre expecting something to happen. Potential for safety cars, under fueling the car, got to run a little bit more of a more push pace to expect the safety car to come, get to the front of the field, and then box early on and get that pit stop done and dusted out of the way. It's all up in the air here in Singapore. Nobody actually knows what could happen. We can take a quick little look now at the standings so you can expect to see what is to come in the Grand Prix. As we mentioned, Tador Presican is leading by a 23-point gap, so he could afford to not finish in the points and will still be comfortably ahead in the lead. It's going to come down to Mexico. He is your pole sitter here today, so he is setting himself up in prime position to win in Singapore. With the pace that he's laying down, he could gap the entire field lap after lap, just break away the tenths to the cars behind. DRS may be the factor that keeps the cars in the fight, just a huge DRS train going through Singapore, but he has taken 2 victories this season, 4 podiums over the last 6 rounds. That's only 2 races where he hasn't finished on the top steps. So it's all going for Tador Presican, apart from Damas, who's trying to chase him down.
Yeah, and that's why the drivers also, when they do go wheel to wheel, we do expect them to lose time. If you are to have a major battle for second, You are removing any chance you have of getting ahead of Pressakan. And if you can get ahead of Pressakan, then that can be vital. Because Pressakan could just have the pace. Because it wasn't just one incredible lap. He was ahead of the field at every phase of that qualifying session. So it's going to be important for the rest of them to stick with him and use the DRS to stick with him and try run at his pace. And then, of course, you do have a door open when it comes to strategy, or there could be possibly an opportunity where he's made a little bit of an error coming out of turn number 5. There could be a chance down to turn number 7. Who knows? So you need to keep yourself in the mix. You need to keep yourself in the fight. Pressakan, I think, really has a good opportunity today to just try and push away and pull away and take this from lights out to checkered flag. But it's a PSGL race. There's going to be loads of hurdles in between all of that for sure. But it means that we're going to be in for an intriguing race to see how this one is going to play out. And in terms of safety cars, that possibility is there. But I have to say, we haven't really had many of them this season. The drivers have really been well behaved, and especially considering the last couple of seasons that we've had here at PSGL. I think this has been definitely one of the better ones in terms of the safety cars not coming out much.
Well, absolutely. I don't remember seeing too many safety cars this season going through it. So hopefully they keep themselves clean and away from the walls, and no carbon landing on that track. We won't see the safety car that shall not be named. We shouldn't say it. We shouldn't jinx it. Commentators curse. You know where it is. But hopefully we do not see it, and the race gets going for the full 31 lap duration with high octane action, to say the least. But again, I think Tudor Pressakan, he's just lining himself up for the championship now. He's setting himself up perfectly for round 8 in Mexico, and with that straight down Mexico as well, the racing there is going to be absolutely insane. Overtake Central.
It's going to be wild. It's just going to be the usual PSGL stuff that we're going to get at Mexico City as well. And yes, what a venue it could be to clinch it and win it all this season for Pressakan. And with Hitala promoted, it seemed like he's been the driver who's been in control. And this is basically the last few puzzles being put into places for Pressakan. And he's really just right now, with this performance today, I think he's just confirming that he is going to be taking this unless there is a major shock. You really needed him to have a bit of a poor qualifying today, and some of his rivals like Dimas to be all the way up there for there to be a little bit of a chance. But no, he's just come into this session. He's fully taken control, like we've not seen this entire season, really, with how much he's just been ahead of everyone throughout every single point. And now he's going to look to do that when it comes to our race duration as well.
Absolutely. It's just been a perfect season for Tudor Pressakan, of course, with Hitala, who moved up and got promoted into the F2 tier. He's just been in control. It's just been his season to lose in terms of the points, in terms of finishes. He's just been there all the way through, showing that this championship is his to take in season 39. We'll take a quick little look at the previous race results from last week in Britain, Silverstone. It was a mighty fine race. The qualifying was a bit uncertain, a bit flipped on its head, but you saw Rens Thomassen taking pole position, Biega lining up second, and Cameron Dowds taking that third spot in qualifying. So Pressakan wasn't really on the pace in qualifying. With the unofficial race results, he did take the victory, but after the official results were done and dusted, he did end up taking the victory on the track, and did very well to do so against Rens Thomassen, who looked very fast all race long.
He did indeed. Silverstone was a very interesting race, of course. We come to Singapore, and it's going to be a complete different ball game, as we've mentioned, with the limited overtaking opportunities, and it means we have a different contest in prospect, and it's going to definitely be, at times, a bit of a slow burner. But when it does get exciting, it's just going to be wild. And the scenes that we're going to see around this venue across the 31 laps are going to be phenomenal when we do get that side by side. And it does get very argy-bargy through different parts of the circuit as well.
Absolutely. No, the drivers are on the track and they're getting themselves ready, applying their setups and getting their fuel loads set and choosing what tyres they want to start on, applying, getting those strategies set up to whatever they feel is best. So we're now going to go trackside and we'll get going for 31 laps of Singapore.
Staring down in the pit lane as the drivers load their setups, get their strategies ready, sort out their fuel, final adjustments before they're into high concentration mode with how this circuit is. Very challenging in real life, of course, with the humidity and all of that as well. But around this circuit, the focus that you need even in the sim and even in the virtual world is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. You need to maintain focus all the way through, especially at this skill level. Your rivals behind you or in front of you are doing the exact same thing. You can't afford to lose any sort of focus or concentration, especially coming around a circuit like this. At this venue, those walls are very close and very easy to catch yourself in, even if you have the pace to be fast. But now the lights are getting lit. It is 3, 4, 5. The drivers are ready. The grid is hot, and we get ourselves ready for 31 laps. And it's a good getaway for Tador Presican. Under no threat from Damas, unless Damas can swing one into turn one. He's certainly going to try. Slight contact with the Mercedes, and he does pull ahead, coming out of turn 3 towards turn 4. Cameron Dowds is also having a little look, but there's Baega behind, bringing the fight to Paul Adolphson. Does get ahead, coming through turn 5, clips the wall, banging it there. Both wheels making contact with a barrier as they try and push on through, and it is already going all guns blazing here before we've even finished our first sector.
Wild stuff around the outside to take the lead for the man that started second. Now is in first in the middle sector. Dimas with the lead is getting super tight as Longue is battling up against Maldonado, and Longue is ahead as Maldonado tries to navigate his way through. Is everyone going to be able to keep it clean on this opening lap? Where you look to the front where Presican has lost the lead. It was super late on the brakes around the outside, sending it in, dealing with it in the apex, but it was Presican who cut across originally, but pinched himself too much to the inside, which allowed Dimas to make the move and take the lead.
Beautiful stuff on the opening lap. We're about to come down this final straight before we hit that chicane, and everybody gets the first lap done and dusted and out of the way. To Alexander Damas, the challenger to Tador Presican, leading the race after that absolutely phenomenal move into turn 1. And we get going onto tour 2 of 31. Everything's settling down a little bit. We see Booba going for a move there on Marcel Paps and does get on through coming into turn 1. So nice, easy textbook stuff before the DRS is even active, as now we come around turn number 5. That rear wing will be opened.
Chance will be there for Presican. Alexander Dimas, who's had a best result of P3 at the moment. Out of the slipstream to the inside. That'll be super tight between the two of them. Off the road. Dimas gets forced just a little bit wide as Presican tries to go for the move. Now, around any other circuit, you wouldn't see them battling this hard. It would just be nice, easy switches if you are battling for the lead. But we know how tricky overtaking is. Presican trying to squeeze Dowds, who had an opportunity to get by. He got close but didn't make the move with the squeeze that Presican gave him.
Oh yeah, Presican getting ultra defensive there against Cameron Dowds. Is he feeling threatened from the Haas behind? We know Dowds has been a front runner so far in the only 2 races that he's ran. He's got 2 podiums to his name. Can he secure a 3rd podium? He's certainly looking for it as he sits himself there in P3, but he's still got 29 laps to get through before that's a guarantee. Oh, so far he is looking very racy, bringing the fight to the championship leader.
He is looking very, very quick. He is looking the rapid driver that we've already talked about as well. And it's great to see him returning back over to the PC side as we get ready. Fastest laps being traded again and again and again. Now it belongs to Booba, who is right now the driver in 9th position in the green Aston Martin. And he is on those medium compound of tyres. You've got Adolfs, you've got Salza and Oleg Napadovsky on those hards along with Zach Miles. And everyone else has the yellow wall medium compound of tyres. Who's ready for the slipstream to be broken once again? And who will be our leader when the next arrive in our shot? As it's going to be the inside line once again for Presican. And still, Dimas had the response to defend.
Yeah, Dimas doing very, very well to defend. He knows what's at stake here. He needs to reduce Presican's points by any means necessary. Even if it is only a P2, he just makes it a little bit harder for Presican to lock it out next round in Mexico. It will go the distance and it will go to Abu Dhabi, providing he can just stop him that little bit more every lap. It needs Presican to fall further down the order.
It does indeed. As we see, Presican once again slotting in the wheel tracks And he'll just be a driver that will now be assessing and seeing every lap. He gets close, cannot find a way by. Now will he experiment and go to work and try and find his way through at another part of the circuit? He'll definitely be tucking in the wheel tracks for sure as we go on to lap number 4 of this one. Buba getting super tight to Napadovsky, of course. Buba will be trying to fire away by on the compound of tyres that he has, as you can see, which is the mediums.
It is mediums versus hards here, but Napadovsky's doing very well to keep those hards going and keep him behind. Buba had that opening lap where he moved up 2 positions, starting in P11 on the grid, has made some overtakes, secured P9. He's in the top 10, looking at some form of points finish. He needs to challenge Napadovsky, but we're seeing a change for the leader off the track. The Presican once again going for that dive down into sector 2 and just pushing him up. But Cameron Dowds now has got his nose and his foot in the door. He's going to try and make it side by side, but ultimately has to slip back behind into the slipstream. This is just going down lap after lap after lap. The battle ahead. Presican trying to retake control of the race. Cameron Dowds just looking to follow him through, and then he can't and puts the pressure on Presican himself.
This is wild stuff right now out there on the circuit, as we see Napadovsky really having to go on the defensive. Is that Presican thinking about it? He was definitely super close to the lead. He couldn't get there though. He couldn't get there, and as we mentioned, now he was having a look at a different part of the circuit. Dimas going ultra defensive. Does Presican think about it? That would have been super brave, but he now needs to think about where he tries to make the move, because here is the thing. We have Dowds waiting in behind, and he'll go for the opportunity if a door opens. So it has to be calculated, it has to be well judged, as we see two drivers coming into the pit lane. You've got Marcel, who gets a 10-second penalty, and also Maldonado as well. Presican will be close. Presican's going to have a chance once again then, as we make our way onto this straight through turn number 5. 6 comes up. That's the little kink. Turn number 7's the braking zone, where Presican will try and hit the front of the field. He's much more alongside this time around. He's got a nose to the inside. It's going to be super tight between the two of them. Dimas once again gets pushed wide just a little bit, and it's going to be the defense once again showed. This is a brilliant battle, Corey, as Adolphs versus Sousa goes on in the background, and Adolphs is ahead. Sousa has the cutback, and this battle will continue down to the next corner, where one driver has to give an inch, and it's Sousa who has to settle for 7th. Adolphs in P6.
Absolutely, this is absolutely phenomenal stuff. Lap after lap, battle after battle. They're still fighting it out there, but I think Alexander Damas has had a little bit of a moment. May have opened a potential door for Presican, but Presican couldn't get there yet. He may have got the run down there. No. He's a bit of a squeeze from Damas, almost making contact with a wall for Tador Presican. And Damas, ultra defensive. It's an absolute rivalry here for championship. He knows that he cannot let Presican through. He will do anything to keep him behind, well within the limits. It's hard racing. Oh, this is lovely stuff. Presican's going into the box, so he's looking for some form of undercut, maybe.
He does not want anything to do with constantly the door being shut in his face. Dimas has placed the car perfectly each time around. They've been millimeters away from contact, and Presican, I think, also just deciding that this is getting quite feisty. This is getting quite chaotic. I probably don't want to put myself in the battle where I could get front wing damage. He wants to take the nice and easy approach to just have an easy road to the championship next time out in Mexico. On go the hard compound of tires. He'll deal with the defensive driving later as he dives it into the pit lane, along with, of course, Buba, Marcel and Maldonado, who also pit last time around as well. And Corey, I believe we aren't getting audio from the game coming in to the stream, so I'll let you get that sorted as well, so everyone can hear these brilliant engines at work around this Singapore circuit.
How strange, because according to my Streamlabs, I have game audio, and it is working. Let me I'm going to quickly, I do apologise, we may miss a little bit of action. I'm trying to do something. Maybe refresh your stream? I'm unsure, I don't know. According to Streamlabs, all is okay and well, and it's broadcasting audio. But we need
it looks like it's back.
Is it working?
It looks like it's back, so that's good news as we see more pit stops coming. It's a perfect timing, Corey.
Oh yes, more pit stops coming into the field. So there, Cameron Dowds, Marcel Biega, Cavero, Longier, Whittler, all coming into the pit, slapping on those hard compound tyres, trying to cover off that potential undercut that was coming from Tador Pressacan, or maybe the medium tyres just don't have it.
Indeed, so many different strategies already taking place as well. I think they all just want to be on the hard compound tyres as quick as possible as well. As we see, Maldonado has left the session as well, coming in, and now we find ourselves on the circuit with Pressacan with the net race lead out there, and then you've got Downs also in there with Buba directly in behind as the order continues to shuffle, but Dimas just going a little bit longer, trying to get those fresher compound off tyres, get a little advantage. Every little advantage will help in the final stages.
Absolutely, he is 1 point. He is, well, was 1.1 seconds ahead. He's now trying to bring that 1.1 back up to fruition as Felipe Salza on the hard compound tyres is trying to chip away 10th into this race to try and close up that gap. He has done so, so maybe the hard compound tyres are the better tyre to be on at this stage in the race. Only 6 laps for the mediums before the drop-off starts to come, as Salza is really starting to catch on to the back of Damas now. Damas must come into the pits, get rid of those tyres. There he goes into the pit lane to slap on that hard compound tyre. The white wall will be whacked on, and Salza takes lead of the race so far.
Does indeed. On those hard compound tyres, he'll continue round and go on again, but where will Dimas rejoin will be an interesting question as well. The driver that's currently 8th in your leaderboard, Jan Steger, as we mentioned, also come in to the pit lane, and we're just going to wait to see. It's a long pit lane, of course, as they will rejoin. Presscam will go ahead, so will Dowd, and Dimas will just look to try slot in, and he slotted in brilliantly in a net P3.
Absolutely, net P3, so he is just behind Cameron Dowds. Dowds managing to get the jump there on Damas, but Damas is under attack from Biega. Biega to the outside line there. Can he make it down? Dive it into turn number 7 there. And he looks like he is going to get the move done, but Damas is defending. Almost contact between the two. And Damas does manage to try and take that position again away from Buba. Contact! Buba set spinning. Oh! What has just happened? Big contact! Oh no, Cavero was just collected and punted into the barrier. Virtual safety car. I'm not seeing it on the track, so that is... Oh, there we go. We are full course safety car. The safety car is taken to the track. That was dramatic.
Wild, absolutely wild. Well, we mentioned earlier on that there hadn't been much of safety cars. There we go. There's the appearance. Felipe Salza, Oleg Napatovsky, Justin Hurt, Jaguar Russell, and Mario Ragunathan. So thank you very much. They all come into the pit lane. And yes, we needed to insert Alex Jakes' commentary. We're heading into the wall. Quite literally we were at that moment. And that's unfortunate stuff for Cavero. Such big disappointment as he finds himself out of the race.
Oh, that is unfortunate there. He was just merely collected. It was hard racing, slight contact. Buba sent into a spin, and as Cavero's trying to get past, an out of control Buba has just front wing has gone in between both wheels of Cavero and just pushed him into the inside wall coming out of turn 7. That was just so unfortunate. Not turn 7, sorry, coming out of turn 9. That was just so unfortunate. Like, he just collected and pushed into the barrier. There's nothing he could have done to avoid that. Buba was just out of control at that moment in time, and it's just unfortunate. An unfortunate racing incident there. The safety car is on the tarmac. More drivers going into the pits and swapping those tyres. Pabst has gone for a soft run. That's brave and that's bold.
Buba, very well done as well to keep that pointing in the right direction as well. He had to control, and that's what basically sent Cavero right into the wall, as he was all over the place as he was doing his battle with Alexander Dimas. And well, just take a look at the order. Felipe Salza at the front of the field. What a moment it would be for him to win. Still a long distance to go, but he's on the medium compound tyres as well. So So it's going to get very, very interesting. It's going to get very, very frenetic on this restart when we do get back going with the green flags around this circuit. But we have a safety car interruption due to the retirement of Alessio Carrera after his contact that was made with Buba due to his battle with Alexander Dimas.
Yeah, just unfortunate, really. He's going to be either frustrated or accepting that he maybe saw Buba was out of control and trying to regain control of the car, and he's just tried to slot through, nowhere else to go. Just unfortunately collected in it, and ultimately he's out of the Grand Prix. But surprise turn of events, Felipe Sousa is now leading the race and has performed a pit stop. So technically, if he can make those medium compounded tyre go 21 laps, he is looking like the current driver to potentially get race victory. But do not count out Dimas behind, who is currently ahead of Tudor Presican after all the drama.
Yep, so much drama out there on the circuit. And it's been a race full of it, basically, from the start. We had a major battle between Presican and Dimas that was going on as well. Which Presican early on elected. He was one of the first few to come in to the pit lane to change his compound of tyres as well. And Sousa's got a huge opportunity today. Great to see him right now pushing on after 2 seasons in PC F2 on this game. It didn't really work out for him. It was 22nd. He's a reigning F4 champion from a couple of seasons ago, is the Brazilian driver. So he's looking to win his first PSGL race on this game as well. He's not done it since we were on F1 23 in the F4 tier.
Well, F4 champion looking to make his name in the F2, just didn't work out too much for him, but F3 may be the sweet spot. Think of it like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. F2 was too cold in a way. F4 was too cold in a way, taking the championship. F2 was too hot. Is F3 the just right sweet spot?
Well, it'll be great to see him return back to the top step of the podium as we're about to get back going around Singapore. Napadovsky will be in second, Ayertz will be in third, and then will be Van Russell, Dowds, Dimas, Presican, Diego, Miles and Steg, our top 10, but that's all going to change in a couple of moments, won't it, Corey?
Absolutely. You see Sousa there desperately trying to generate some last minute temperature into that yellow wall tyre of Napadovsky behind, looking to potentially not be caught out. He's not weaving, he's going full Kimi Räikkönen. Going the Iceman tactic, no weaving, just waiting for the race to get going again, does not want to be caught out, and there he goes, Sousa is away, and Napadovsky was not caught napping too much. He has dropped a couple of tenths, but nothing too dangerous. We wait for DRS to be active again next lap, so for now, the slipstream is where you want to be. I think we have a move further from behind Zach Miles, trying to get on through on Marcel Biega, and does so with ease now. Is Marcel Biega forced to defend from behind? He's not, looking a little bit more comfortable there. And everybody's got themselves going again nicely. Nobody's broke too much of a gap. We have a defensive pass there. Cameron Dowds maybe on the attack or defending against Jerry Van Bussel. He's not, he's trying to attack and get on through. He's currently one of the leading front runners that's ahead of Dimas and Presican, so could potentially be challenging for the victory here. He just needs to climb through this train of cars in front of him.
That's exactly the goal that currently lies ahead. Sousa by 6 tenths of a second is the man in first position. Dowds is getting super close. Could there be an opportunity in a couple of meters time? He places the car on the outside to give himself the widest berth possible. And now to try and get the run to see whether he's got an opportunity to get past Jerry Van Bussel as well. Further back, Presican will be looking to attack Zach Miles. Adolphs has got past Matteo Longe. Buba's got past Victor Vidler. So a couple of moves happening further back as we go side by side. And it's Buba who's just inching ahead of Widler at this stage.
Certainly is. Boober looking to retake a couple of positions. See, the safety car has thrown everybody's strategy into the Sauser on the yellow wall tyres, taking the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Nobody benefiting from that slipstream yet to try and challenge that. When the DRS is active, I suspect that the fastest laps may change once again, but for now, Sauser will hold it, and he's 8/10 clear of Napadovsky behind. Justin Hertz has got almost... Oh, he has. He's broke a second as Oleg Napadovsky to Justin Hertz behind. Hertz is going to be under a bit of pressure from Jerry Van Bussel behind if he cannot get back within that 1 second.
That is exactly the case. If he isn't able to get back inside the 1 second, D-Mass is getting super tight to Cameron Dowds. Is he going to be able to find a way by? It was super tight. It was half a tenth momentarily. D-Mass had a look. That's left him on the back foot. Here's the chance to the inside, and that's going to be super tight as Zach Miles fights her way through. And that was very nearly another moment in this race where D-Mass was risking big damage there as Zach Miles drew onto the inside and managed to get by.
We do have side-by-side for Wojciech Steg and Mateo Longe there as Mateo goes for a move in the hairpin. Wojciech Steg looking to defend it, also behind Boober going for a dive on the Kick-Sauber's teammate. Raghunathan has lost a position, not able to defend it, but here comes Boober looking for it on Mateo as well. They're looking to try and make it almost 3 wide. No, Boober's going to try and go for it. Oh, there's contact between the two. Boober doing anything he can to keep the car going in a straight line. They're almost 3 wide though. Through goes Raghunathan on Mateo, and Mateo losing that position. Boober through on turn 12, but here comes Raghunathan on turn 12. I pressed the wrong button and we lost it for a brief second, but there's contact from Mateo and Boober as well. Boober gaining 2 positions and then losing it again straight away as we start the next lap.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable stuff. Oh, that's going to be super tight for Longe as he was pushing on, and they're still battling. They're banging wheels basically in the background. Longe just inching ahead of Boober. That was super tight between the two of them. It will be tight once again as we go through these next few couple of 90-degree corners, and there is the opportunity. You can see Boober closely following in the proximity. So is Victor Ridler. He's going to have to get out of the throttle. But yes, Raghunathan passing and making the move. Well, he's a driver whose name I haven't been able to say in a while, so it's quite a surprise I'm getting to say that. And he's also going on the attack and trying to make some overtakes right now, running directly behind his teammate Wojciech Steg.
Cameron Dowds was looking very, very close to Van Bussel there, still waiting for that door to open where he can take the position away and get himself back up to the front runnings. I wonder if Justin Hertz is feeling any pressure. He's 2 seconds lost from Napadovsky there, so he's only damaging Cameron Dowds' chances at taking the victory. If Dowds gets through, he's going to have 2.5 seconds he needs to break down of Sauser and Napadovsky ahead, but they are on the medium tyres. They're going to burn away. We saw the drivers boxing as early as lap 5, lap 6, so they're not going to last very long before the hard tyres start to come back into contention to challenge the 2 front runners, who have breached himself a nice little breathing space, nice little gap there, but all eyes on Cameron Dowds now as he tries to come through, benefiting with that DRS. Can he make a move yet? Can he get close enough? Napadovsky challenges for the lead on the DRS. It's easy done. Van Bussel side by side trying to get the move. Cameron Dowds, is he looking for an open door? No, he sits behind. He's making himself large in the rear view mirror there. Justin Hertz. Jerry Van Bussel does finally get on through. Now can Van Bussel do anything about breaking down what has now become a 3-second gap to the front 2?
Absolutely, he is pushing on hard as Cameron Dowds as he'll look to try and see what's the best part of the circuit to dive bomb and to try and make this move once again, using the wide line, trying to get the best berth possible as we navigate our way through that tight between Zach Miles and D-Mass. Those 2 drivers will not be happy with each other after what happened a couple of moments ago, and you also got Pressakan trying to go through at the same time. D-Mass gets by and Miles has to settle for 7th, but surely Pressakan is going to want to try and fight her way through. Here comes Cameron Dowds. It will be the move complete as we get down through 16 and 17, and next up it will be Jerry Van Bussel, who currently has the possession of the final spot on the podium.
Absolutely, Cameron Dowds could be looking at another P3 position. That 3-second gap has opened up to 3.5 seconds now, and Cameron Dowds has got some absolute hard work, some unfortunate work to do to claw his way back up after he was looking like a top contender for race victory. That safety car, you can still see the graphic displayed on the screen, just being a little in-game bug that we all are well and truly aware of, has thrown a spanner in the works of the strategy. Justin Ayert's getting a little bit closer to the rear end of Cameron Dowds. Could he be trying to challenge the Haas driver as Cameron Dowds tries to challenge Van Bussel ahead? Tador Presican further back, losing out of position. Alexander De Mas, he's under attack potentially. No, he's not. It's Marcel Biega losing position. What's going on there? Big squabble between Paul Adels, Tudor Presican and Marcel Biega. It's Zach Miles who's leading that little fight there. Marcel Biega, he's just trying to change everything around and get ahead there, help his teammate through, but he's just not there yet.
He isn't. Felipe Salza back to the front of the field with his nice and easy overtake that he's had. That's late on the brakes. That's P7 for Marcel Biega, who gets by on the way in, on the way out. Zach Miles says, I'll have it straight back. And that's exactly the case, because he moves back straight away and takes 7th position. Biega back down to 8th as he'll look to try to set it up. You can see that he's following so close as the camera shows so many different cars making their way through. That's how close all of them are to each other as we head down back to turn number 1, where there's a little defensive shape zone just to keep the position, but Biega will be waiting and looking for the opportunity that will come down the next straight, as Oleg Napadovsky is going to use that as an opportunity to hit the front once again, take back the lead. It's going to be Cameron Dowds moving up to 3rd position, so that will be move complete for him. And Marcel Biega, is he going to be able to get past Zach Miles as well into the braking zone? Miles had enough, and here's the chance to have a pressure can to try and get past his teammate. The Mercedes have been close so many points this season, Corey, and it's close once again.
Oh, Paul Adels also having a little look there. He doesn't want to risk it though. We saw what happened around turn 9 for the likes of Cavero. Below there's a huge scrap and tyre locking. Oh, he's hit the barrier and he's round. That's a huge collision. Ragnarson has been collected as well. That is absolute chaos. Kick Sauber and VCAB stopped on the track, spun round, front wings are missing, and we are back to a full course safety car. Oh, no way.
Yeah, I cannot believe what I've just seen. Once again, it got hyper aggressive, and that was super late on the brakes at a part of the circuit where we usually see. I mentioned in my commentary earlier when we were seeing a battle with Felipe Salza that one driver usually has to back out of it, and it was no drivers backing out of it, and it created a bit of a blockage, and that affected the drivers that were directly behind. We're going to get some pit stops. We're going to see the drivers coming back into the pit lane, and yes, we didn't really have much safety cars, and all of a sudden we're getting 2 in 1 race, just the Singapore way as well.
I mean, the walls are ever close, you know, it's going to happen. If there's anywhere for it to happen, it's going to be Singapore. They're just so tight. You keep saying it's just super tight around these turns, and the walls are right there. There's no runoff, there's nowhere to escape. You are literally just going to get collected into the barrier. Seen now by 3 different drivers. 3 drivers in incidents so far. Ragnarson was just merely collected. Oh, it's Zach Miles who's just been absolutely smacked into the wall there with the tyre locking. The absolute carnage of battles. Elbows out, absolutely throwing everything out. Neck and neck, not leaving each other a literal inch of space. And as an end result, we are back under safety car while the marshals clear up the debris on the track.
So, your new order, Presican is in 1st, Maldonado is in 2nd, Napadovsky's in 3rd, and then you have Salza, as we mentioned. Napadovsky and Salza, your net leaders beforehand, as they also came in to make another pit stop as well. But as you mentioned, Ragunathan, one of the drivers that was collected up in that incident as well, and he had to go and get his front wing change. A reminder that the graphic on screen, the virtual safety car, is just a bug. We do have a safety car, but that does stay on the screen anyway as well. So that's just a little error that the game and bug that the game has.
Absolutely, we still have 14 laps to get through. We've seen 2 safety cars, 1 driver will not be finishing the Grand Prix. Everybody is on fresh tyres apart from the front 2. Tador Presican choosing to go and stay out on the hard compound. The tyre does not think that boxing for fresh mediums is the way to go. But Van Bussel had fresh hards, so did Whittler, and so did Matteo Longe. They have all got fresh hard compound tyre, so they could be the drivers to watch as those mediums from all those medium runners ahead start to burn away. We saw 6 laps and the pit stops were starting to come into play as well. Early on in the Grand Prix we saw a 6-7 lap difference in tyres between mediums and hards, and the hards were certainly gaining by tenths in corners. So it's up in the air this now. This could go any direction.
It really, really could go in any direction. It's absolutely wide open. I cannot wait to see how it's all going to play out and whose favour is this going to end up in, as you have Presican and Maldonado, who will surely be on the defence. Napadovsky, Souza, and all of the drivers in behind will also be on the attack. It's going to be a fascinating, incredible, extraordinary end to this round 7 of the season. And it takes place, as we mentioned, at Singapore, which is the circuit in your picture. And the next few laps after the safety car will be definitely quite determining in how this plays out. If Napadovsky can get by, if Souza gets stuck, that could be the deciding moment. Presican will just try also keep it clean at this stage, as he knows he cannot afford to have any retirements or have any contact like we've seen a couple of times today from many drivers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep those hards going at a competitive pace with Maldonado. Both drivers are running a huge risk here with everybody behind boxing for fresh tyres. It won't surprise me to see Napadovsky challenging straight off the restart, just with the difference in grip levels. It's 13 laps done for Presican and Maldonado versus those fresh medium compounded tyres for Napadovsky behind. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a spicy restart, to say the least.
It's going to be really, really fun to watch. Will Presican be able to catch as well? We've got so many different question marks as well. And we do get this going. You're going to see Zach Miles now just closing in on it behind the safety car. We'll go round for one more lap, and then we'll get ready to go racing around Singapore once again for the final laps of what will be a round that will go a long way in deciding how this championship battle does end.
So everybody's now desperately needing to warm up their tyres. The 2 drivers ahead have got to put their tyres through a second heat cycle to make sure that everything's good to go, ready to rock and roll. Presican, your championship leader, will take you away with this restart. So this is where things could get interesting. His current rival, Damas, down in P8, losing massive points, which is vital in the championship fight here. Mexico could be wrapped up well and truly for Tador Presican with the way things are looking here on lap 19.
Definitely could, as he'll just try push on and take us all the way to the end, but still a lot is to change, isn't it, Corey?
Absolutely. You've just seen how quick it can change. It's such like tossing a coin. You never know if you're going to get heads or tails with the way it just flips. The safety car comes out, and now the order's been changed once again. A full change in the race order.
Yeah, it's absolutely really, really wild when it comes to how the racing can be usually, but especially around Singapore, when we're getting all of these dive bombs from downtown, and it's all then ending up in tears and contact and ending up with a safety car which bunches the field back up and ready for the green flag to fly once again. Presican, a race winner twice this season. He's had a further 2 podiums as well at Austria and also at Sao Paulo in Brazil. Where's he going to finish though in Singapore? It's time to find out as we get back going with this restart. Napadovsky will be in third. He'll be behind Pastor Maldonado. Napadovsky and Felipe Salazar are some of the drivers to watch as we get ready to go racing once again around this 19-turn circuit. 2 DRS zones that will be open in a lapse time. Pretakan waiting, generating the heat into these tyres as he gets set and ready to put his foot down and take us to the final few corners and back to racing conditions here at Singapore. Maldonado will be looking to try and follow closely in behind, and he'll hope to defend from Napadovsky and also Salazar. There is the throttle hit from Pretakan, who takes us to green flag racing conditions. Napadovsky's got the run. Keep an eye for the Haas to pull out of the slipstream, possibly into turn 1. He'll wait. He'll try and sit in behind, but he's got the grip. He'll be the driver to watch as we go racing once again.
Absolutely, we just find ourselves on board and look at the traction, look at the grip differences all over the rear diffuser of Maldonado. Now may be the time he does move out of that potential slipstream. He has had a run and he is going to make the move done and dusted. Not even with the DRS, burn the battery, but Felipe Salazar behind is looking to also get on through. He's side by side as we come down into sector 2, and he does get the move done. There's a huge dive there for Jerry Van Bussel in contact. Through goes Cameron Dowds and Pastor Maldonado. He's under huge pressure. There goes Van Bussel into the barrier. The cars are all trying to get on through and stay out of that contact. There's tyre locking between the two. Maldonado, Jerry Van Bussel still scrapping it out. Look at the wheel banging between the two. They're just creating traffic. There goes an end plate of Marcel Paps. He's just been collected, rear-ended the back of the Alpine and has picked up that front wing damage. Voitis then goes through on this absolute carnage of a battle, and they're still scrapping it out with a tyre locking, and through goes that. There goes Marcel Pabst again, hitting it the wall once again, losing more of that left side wing. This is absolute carnage and chaos. What is going on here?
It is absolutely ridiculous. They were 4 wide at one point. As over the road goes Jerry Van Bussel. DRS gets enabled. Do we really need that? It's getting already so wild out there. It's completely out of the window stuff for these drivers. Jerry Van Bussel retires, but I think we've had definitely the drivers go quite chaotic at many points this season, but I think definitely this has been the most aggressive I've seen them all go, and we predicted it that it could be at Singapore. At the front of the field, Oleg Napadovsky. These drivers all keeping it clean. Napadovsky around the outside. Salazar makes the move as well, and Pressakan goes from first to third. Here's Dowds. Around this part of the circuit, he was able to get 2 positions. Can he get 1? He is going to get 1 as Pressakan drops down to 4th. You'd expect that with the tyres that the top 3 have, as they will go pushing, they will go attacking, but these drivers now, especially after all of the chaos they would have heard about from their engineers and from their teammates that they will be in a call with, they'll know that they just need to keep it clean and don't follow in the other driver's footsteps.
Oh my. What a dramatic safety car restart we have just seen. And we see Tador Pressakan potentially under attack now from Justin Ayerts from behind. Oleg Napadovsky, Felipe Salazar and Cameron Dowds being your current podium sitters. Tador Pressakan still on those huge hard compound tyres, needing to defend against a charging Justin Ayerts and a potential charging Alexander Damas. This is not looking good in terms of the championship as Damas closes up to his championship rival. Here goes Justin Ayerts looking for the move into turn 1. Easy done. Textbook manoeuvre. Nicely done. Now it's time for Pressakan to defend against his rival.
Absolutely, we do need some of the simple overtakes that we're starting now to get after what we've just seen out there on the circuit, where it was absolutely dodgem stuff for a lot of the field out of the slipstream. Dimas versus Pressakan. Well, these two have been around this circuit battling hard. Not this time around. Pressakan knows there's no point fighting it with the tyres that he has got as he fades down the order, and it will be Dimas who will push on and will try to get himself higher up. Pressakan will just try and settle for what he can get. Damage limitation today is what he'll be searching for, as he just looks to grab every single point he can to get him closer to the biggest trophy of this season.
Absolutely, he's looking for that championship, looking to try and wrap it up one race early if he can succeed in Mexico. He's not feeling too shabby is Pressakan, I'd say. But it's Damas who needs to try and pull it back. I mean, he's certainly a driver who could do it, but Pressakan's just nice and relaxed here in Singapore. He's not worried. He feels confident that it's done and wrapped up in Mexico, it seems. He's not defending too hard. He fought it out first, looking for the race victory, but the current strategy he's gone on, it's not looking that way now.
Yeah, definitely isn't looking that way. It looks like that he's just going to now have to try and settle in this one. We're on lap number 23 out of 31. Mario Raghunathan has a penalty of 3 seconds. The driver that is in 13th position as well. We're taking a look at his teammate. Try defend from Paul Adolphs. Alexander Dimas is moving up to 4th. Exactly what he needs. More and more points as we see Adolphs get by with a nice, simple and tidy move to take the position. Here is Cameron Dowd. Well, these three can be calm for now. When it gets to the last lap, they'll all want it. What a story we have here as well going on. Cameron Dowd wanting to get another victory this season as he returns back to PC. Felipe Sousa trying to take his first PSGL win on this game cycle. And you have Oleg Napadovsky also trying to get in there, a driver who joined us midway through last season in the F3 tier, as he now looks to continue to push on and try to take the victory today. Cameron Dowd has something to say about it, and he is looming large in the mirrors as he tries to put the pressure on Sousa.
Absolutely, what a return to the PC side here in PSGL for Cameron Dowd. It's just podium after podium after podium, exactly what he needs to do to get higher up in the standings as we start to close off this final season on F1 24, and then we get ourselves ready for the new game. Cameron Dowd, I cannot wait to see what you have got in F1 25, because the way you come back in 24 on the PC side is absolutely masterclass.
It's been extraordinary to watch, and I was someone who was fortunate to be able to commentate on a lot of his races before he actually moved back, before he moved over to PlayStation. So I got to commentate in 2023 on a lot of his masterclass performances. So it's great to be able to do that once again. Mavi Raghunathan retires from the race. They're still in order as we make our way through in the top 3. That's not the case if your name is Justin Ayerts. He gets back past Dimas, and it's also super tight in this battle as you have Presican, who's dropped all the way down to 8th position. Viega is directly in behind in 9th, as they all now navigate their way through in this lower train that we have currently, which consists of Paul Adolphs, who is our leader.
Absolutely, so a little bit of a 4-car train, 5-car train going here. Things are just sort of settling down. Oh, there's a big dive from Marcel Biega looking to challenge on his teammate. Mercedes rivalry. Where have we seen this before? And through goes Marcel Biega. Easy done. Tador Presican just not able to do anything about it on those used high compounded tyres. Going to be under some pressure soon from Victor Wedler behind.
You'll be under a bit of pressure. You can see Scarlet Ferrari will be tucking in, getting closer and closer. The gap is already 3/10 as he'll look to try and make light work of the Mercedes driver that is directly up ahead as well. We're taking a look at Wojciech Steg still in this train that goes on, and you can see the Ferrari getting closer actually with Victor Vidler, as we've mentioned, visibly trying to push on. So that will be a move that takes place. Cameron Dowd is also going to be super close as well to Felipe Sousa. So let's see whether there will be the chance for Cameron Dowd. Does he try to make a move? Trying to pull out of the slipstream, trying to see whether a gap was there. Not this time around, but I think he's definitely making his intent clear. He's following so closely. It's very clear that he's got the pace to make the move, but Felipe Sousa will also have that in mind as he also tries to attack Oleg Napadovsky.
Well, everything's just sort of getting ready now. They're setting themselves up for the end game. You see Cameron Dowd is looking and testing the waters, seeing if he can make himself large in Sousa's mirrors and put him under any sort of pressure, but I doubt Sousa is under any sort of pressure from behind. He's a veteran in the game. I've seen him race quite a few times, and he is ready to rock and roll here and defend against Cameron Dowd, or maybe even charge on against Napadovsky for the race victory. It'd be lovely to see for Sousa the first victory of this F1 24 game cycle after he was an F4 champion, struggled in the F2, and here in the F3 could be looking at the first victory on this game.
That's exactly the end goal. Still loads of laps to navigate. Still a rapid Cameron Dowd directly in behind, giving chase through these opening couple of corners around this circuit. And it'll all be about when does he set up the move, when does he try and take second place. And also same goes for Sousa, when will he the driver who will look to go on the charge. The Haas is once again close, and this time around he is pulling out of the slipstream. This time around he is diving to the inside. Here's the chance for Dowd, who sees Felipe Sousa run out wide. He immediately dives back down the inside. Will he make the corner in the way that he needs to? He will, and that will be the position maintained. But look at the gap to Napadovsky. Is this the moment that Napadovsky is able to break clear of the 1 second and pull away outside the DRS?
He's certainly trying. It's now all systems go. Push, push, push for Napadovsky. It's floating, just flirting with that 1 second. Burley above it, and it's 1.021. And as they come to the DRS zone, it looked like it was bang on a second. So he had no way to get it. Sousa is now under attack from Cameron Dowd's behind. Cameron Dowd's looking for a potential switchback. The back end of Sousa fishtailing and slapping left and right. Dowd's now getting a run. Can he close up with the slipstream? Sousa forced to burn some of the battery, which could prove crucial on the final closing laps unless he's able to recharge anything in these few laps we've got remaining. We come around now to start lap 27 of 31, and the battle is starting to unfold before your very eyes for the victory. 1.6 seconds now for Napadovsky as Cameron Dowd struggles to get past that Felipe Sousa.
Napadovsky has taken the opportunity. It was a late dive from Sousa. As those two battle, it allowed Napadovsky to pull away. As you have Longue out of the race and the full course safety car. We are not done yet. There is going to be another phase of this race. There's going to be another twist in the tail, and after Oleg Napadovsky looked to break clear, Longue brings out the safety car, and it's going to be another big moment in this race which could see it all change.
I mean, there's 4 laps to go and the safety car comes out. Now, the game ruling, what is that? Is that like 2 laps? Will it give us 2 racing laps? So we may only see the safety car for 1 lap, and then he just goes in no matter where the field spread is. If nobody catches up, that's it. It doesn't matter. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Yeah, it is as simple as that. We have to have 2 racing laps in the game, so it has to give us that. So no matter how long this is, it will definitely have to come in, and we'll have to have 2 racing laps. The final lap will consist of DRS as well. But wow, what on earth? Can you believe it? And after a season of barely any safety cars, 3 in 1 race. Well, you probably shouldn't have mentioned that we hadn't really had any safety cars earlier on, as you mentioned. Cameron Dowd's debating about whether to come in or whether to stay out, and he's cost himself the position to Justin Ayertz.
He has indeed, but he did manage to fake Dimas going into the pits. Dimas has gone in, which is, I wouldn't say it was a bold move. He would have been better staying where he is, as Tador Prestican has boxed. Now, even under the safety car, with the ruling of the game, the safety car has to come in at the end of this lap. Or is it next lap? Give us lap 30 and 31, so it will come in at the end of the next lap. So, will they catch up?
Oh, this is going to be a wild finish. This is going to be incredible to watch. But yes, we are going to get the safety car in at the end of next lap, we'll hope, and then that'll be lap 30 and 31. That'll be the 2 laps that we require as well. Due to the overtaking behind the safety car thing, Dowd was able to take that position, by the way, just to let everyone know. So Justin had to give it back. So it is all okay. It is all okay for Dowd, but definitely he was able to send Dimas in as well. So with 2 racing laps, there could be the opportunity now for Dimas and all of those guys to close in and to try and carve their way through the field. They're lucky that it's a long lap, so it's 2 long laps of racing. So the chance is going to be there, but they're going to be risking contact. It's going to be wild. It's going to be such an amazing finish. And could this be the roll of the dice that Dimas needs on those tyres? And you have Presican, they're only a couple of positions away, so this could also benefit Presican if he's able to jump himself higher up the order.
So as we come down into Sector 3 now, I'm keeping my eye on the track map to see how much those cars are gaining. We do have Dimas now rejoining the pack, and Polaros will certainly join behind. But for those who are still in Sector 2, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the next lap they will catch up, but it's going to be on the wire, especially for the likes of Marcel Pabst all the way down the Boober as well. Where is he? I'm not seeing him on the track map. Has he been lapped?
He's miles away. There's no
way. Oh wait, is that him in the pit lane? I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gonna most likely retire from the contest as well. There we go. So he's retired from the contest. Yes, it's going to be tight for Marcel. It's going to be incredibly tight as well. He may not be able to make it and definitely won't get much of a breather if he does, as we go round for the final lap of the safety car. And, well, let's get ready. 2 laps of absolute chaos. That'll definitely going to be coming our way. This is going to be definitely quite something to watch in a few moments to see who is going to take the 16 points for the victory.
Well, this is not what I expected, to say the least, going into Singapore. I was expecting it to be a bit cleaner, and well, not so much cleaner, but a bit less contact. But everybody's just racing hard. You can't point blame on anybody really, apart from what we saw with the Alpine and Maldonado. What's Maldonado doing, to say the least? It was a bit of a mad one, to say, in Singapore for PSGL. Not what's expected. He's put a smile on my face because some incidents were not expected. But I love it as a commentator. You love to see the drama, the controversial moments. And as the drivers get themselves ready to go one more time, racing hard on a safety car restart. Hopefully, we don't have a repeat of the last restart we saw.
Yes, let's hope not. Let's hope now. It's going to be quite something for the last 2 laps. And if that was to happen, then the soft runners will get caught up. But all they need is, all Dimas needs is to be carving his way through every single driver that's ahead. There's the confirmation. We already knew it was going to come in, but there's the official confirmation to make everyone realise that we're getting a 2-lap shootout to decide who's going to be the victor. Napadovsky, Salazar, Dowds will be our top 3. Dimas on the softs, and everyone behind are going to be the ones to watch on this restart as we go racing once again in Singapore.
And we get ourselves ready. Oleg Napadovsky slowing the pack down as the safety car starts to gap away and gets itself back to the pit lane. The jump is certainly needed on his rival behind, Felipe Sousa. Once again looking to chase down that victory when all hope was lost. He's been graced with a safety car, and there it is. Napadovsky's gone and Sousa was not caught out by too much. It's only 3/10 separation. It was Cameron Dowds who was caught out a little bit, but look behind. Is that Damas looking for a move? It certainly is. He's going for it down into turn 1. He's side by side and he dives ahead of Marcel Biega already. 1 car done and dusted and out of the way. That is exactly what he needed to do on the subcompactor. He's looking for another one. Can he make it on Justin Ayers? You're damn right he can. He sends it into turn 5. 2 cars done and dusted. Set sights on Cameron Dowds. Dimas could be looking at an absolute masterclass display of racing here. Further behind we have a battle. Portlados looking for it on Marcel Biega as well. He's looking to send it down the inside and does pull ahead of Biega for P6. Dimas still looking to try and close up on Dowds though, to try and fight him for that position. And with a soft compounder tyre, it's certainly possible. Look at the speed, look at the grip, look at the traction that he's had on this restart. And he's all over that rear diffuser already within half a lap.
Absolutely, having a look around the outside, won't be able to get there, but the traction we put down. Dowds has also got a chance to get past Felipe Sousa as well. Will he be able to do it? Dimas is going to be in the mix as we get into the braking zone. Dimas trying to get through on the pair of them. It's super tight. Dimas is going to get through on Cameron Dowds shortly when he gets the power down. It's going to be a battle now as he'll try and get past Felipe Sousa as well, but Oleg Napadovsky's trying to break clear once again at the front of the field.
Absolutely, and we're about to get going on the penultimate lap and things are spicing up. Dimas is going absolutely full send, but so is Napadovsky to try and break that 1 second. Here comes Dimas, down to turn 1. He's got the grip, he's got the traction, he's got the tyre life. P2 done and secure. Now he needs to close up. The DRS is active, and he now needs to push on to try and catch back up to Napadovsky ahead. Half a second separating the two. He's absolutely flying. It's a rocket ship of an Alpine, and he's coming for that P1 position. So Napadovsky, you better get ready to defend. You need to make sure you've got battery reserves, because he's coming quick and fast and he's on your diffuser. Adolph's in the wall. What was that from behind? He's out of it. He's all the way down the field to P8. That is unfortunate contact, and Dimas has took the lead of the race against Napadovsky in all that drama behind. He does it on the penultimate lap and now needs to push on for the victory.
Absolutely, that was wild stuff on the last tour here at Singapore. It went absolutely wild between all of those drivers. Now, can Cameron Dowds get ahead of his teammate? Oh, that's going to be super tight, and there'll be more contact between Biega and Marcel Pabst as well. Presecan's currently in 7th position. It has been absolutely wild. It's been absolutely chaotic. We're on the last lap. We have Wojciech Szczeg trying to defend. Presecan needs to get every point he can. Will he be able to do it? Will he be able to get down the inside? But it's going to be super tight as this championship rival's going to be at the front. Presecan will try and find a way through. Napadovsky's going to be in second, and it's going to be Dimas who's going to come across the line to win at Singapore to reignite the championship battle, and it's so close to the line. It's Presecan in 6th. Miles was all out of shape, as you would have seen. He's in 7th, but it's Alexander Dimas who's done it, and there may still be some hope in this championship battle as he makes the soft tire strategy work at the end to take the win with 2 laps of pushing and passing.
Oh, for some reason I thought that was the penultimate lap. It wasn't. It was the final lap. And for Dimas, he takes it on the final lap after 2 laps of full push. Napadovsky did everything he could to try and defend it, but he just couldn't in the end. And it will be Dimas to take those 16 points. Trudeau Presecan got P6. The rivalry's still alive. The championship hopes are there, but the gap is just stretching a little bit more away for Presecan to take it in Mexico. Can Dimas do it in the final round? That is what we need to happen. Dimas needs to win next time out for any form of hope to stay there for him. Mexico is certainly the race to watch, but Cameron Dowds, 3 podiums in a row, and his Haas teammate taking the P2 there. So Cameron Dowds, 2 P3s and a P, I think it was a P2. So that's 3 podiums in a row for Dowds, and he came back with a bang going down the order. Salza lining up P4, Wojciech Szczeg, Trudeau Presecan, Zach Miles, Wedler, Paps and Ertz doing the top 10. Biega, Maldonado, Paul Adolfs and Buber. Paul Adolfs doing the finishers, and then Buber, Longe, Ragnathan, Bussell and Cavero being the DNFs. I shall bring you over to the interview room where we may have a quick little chat and hopefully a word with Dimas to see how he feels going into round. Apologies. My Stream Deck had a bit of a moment and has decided to put the interview screen as the starting screen. But we are in the interview room and we are ready to get these drivers in here and have a quick little chat.
We're going to be able to do so, Corey, as well. We've seen Cameron Dowds, who's joined the call. This is going to be fun as we get him into the commentary box.
Absolutely. We'll get going straight away with Cameron Dowds, who got P3, 3 podiums on the bounce and scoring very good points to help you along as you came late into the season. It's just the best finish possible. What a race from yourself of the safety car throwing the strategy up in the air. At one point, it looked like you were going to stay down there in P5, P6, but then another safety car pulls you straight back into it. What a race. Let's have your view on that.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that race was quite unlucky for me. I think had these safety cars not come out, I mean, 2 of the times that the safety car came out, the first time I was right behind the Mercedes and I was about to overtake him and be in the net lead. And then I think with my pace, I could have kept him at bay. And then the safety car comes out. And then again, I managed to battle the Red Bull. And then he got gapped, so it was an easy overtake on the straight, and then the safety car comes out again. So, I mean, to be honest, if those safety cars hadn't come out, I think I would have had a really good chance of winning. But, I mean, third's decent. At least I got a bit of luck at the end with the people crashing, but I think there was a lot more to be able to get today. I think there was a lot on the table.
Oh, well, it's nice to know that you could have potentially seen yourself higher up in the field. You know, we root for it. You've been a front runner so far in the range you've attended, and we're looking forward to see what happens in Mexico. Are you confident in the next round, Mexico? Any chance of a victory there?
Well, I've not really done Mexico this game, but hopefully the pace will be good. I'll do some practice and we'll just see what happens.
Perfect. It's lovely to see you on the podium once again. 3 on the bones, and you're doing yourselves very, very well. It's unfortunate you feel like, though, you could have had the victory, and of course, the safety car has thrown a spanner into the works all 3 times. We saw Damas down the order looking like he wasn't going to get any points. Then all of a sudden, scores the race victory. So again, the safety cars just throw everything up into the air, and nobody knows where they can place themselves after that. Screws your strategy completely over. But it's a good another podium for yourself, and congratulations on the P3. Mate.
Yeah, thank you.
On to Ormy for any questions. Oh, he's left.
Well, that's fine. I think you covered it all, Corey, and he did a brilliant performance as per usual. I mean, to be fair, we're used to having him in the commentary box. He's in there every round, 3 in a row now.
Absolutely, it's looking like it's going to be a ritual for Cameron Doge to see himself in here in every round. But why don't you take us away with Alexander Damasa?
Well, hello, Alexander Dimas. Absolutely brilliant. You, of course, made the move to pit for the soft compound of tyres, and that was the decision that gave you the win. So would you like to tell us a little bit about these strategy calls that were going through your head at the time, and how late was that decision? Were you discussing it with your engineer?
I mean, it was the greatest decision of my life, honestly. Like, it was when the safety car gone out, we just thought, just go on the softs. It's like pretty much clear to go on the softs. Then also, I saw Cameron going into the box. I think he was also going into softs, but then he cut the pit lane, and I think he probably will get a pen for that, and also Tudor did that earlier on. And then I just went on softs, and I knew I had more pace, but of course I needed to make moves fast because I only have like 1.5 lap to make it, but I made it at the end. And yeah, it was just a beautiful call to go in, and I'm happy that they didn't go into the softs, the top 4. So happy with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. If we quickly go back to the start of the race, you had a brilliant move around the outside of Pressakan, and you were battling with him all the way through in the early couple of laps. So how were those early couple of laps battling with your title contender as well momentarily for those first few laps? Was it just try stay ahead as much as you can?
The thing is with Singapore, you have like the second and third sector. It's basically just in none the whole time. So when we come on that straight in sector 1, we use everything because we know we're gonna gain it back anyway. So you keep fighting on that straight, and I think you're on a little bit low wings, or just the slipstream is overpowered and just fighting the whole time with him. Of course, it's not really really nice to have. You want to be in the lead and chilling a bit. But I mean, it makes it more interesting as well. But overall, I think everything went well with the battle as well. Just some hard racing as well, and yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to watch. Final question from myself. Now, of course, you've closed yourself in to the title battle even more. Do you think now you've got a proper chance going into the final 2 races to fight for this title?
I mean, you can never say it. I mean, I was in the first pit stop this race P9 because of the safety car, and I ended up boxing perfectly on the softs at the end. I mean, you can never say what happens really. Next race I can be slow, I can be really fast. I mean, you can never say it. It's pretty a random game, of course, and everyone is really fast. So I hope to be on the top step again next week and the week after, of course.
Well, congratulations, brilliant performance, and it's going to be interesting to see how the title battle goes in the final 2 rounds. I'll hand you over to Corey for any other further questions.
No, nothing from me. It was a beautiful victory from yourself, and I'm excited to see where the championship's going to lead you. Only other thing I could ask is, like I asked Cameron Dalza, are you confident in Mexico? Do you feel like that could be the victory for you to help you along the way to the final round and challenge Pressakan for the championship?
I don't think I have done Mexico, or I have. I really don't know. But the only thing I really need to work on is my quali pace, because I bottled again on this track. I can't let it happen every time, you know.
Yeah.
That's one thing that has been really a struggle for me, quali pace, getting the lap in. But yeah, I hope, of course, I will be fighting on Mexico, and not on Mexico only, but also on Abu Dhabi. And yeah, I just hope to be fast again.
Lovely stuff. Well, congratulations on the victory, and you've kept the championship hope alive just for a little bit longer. Well, for now, that is all for us. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to hit the subscribe button and join us again next week for where the championship could be wrapped up, or will we see it go the distance to round 9. But for now, that is all, and we shall see you next week, same time, same place.